Hello, you're welcome to Real Estate Talk with Flink Realty. My name is Bright Okereke, and today we're going to be talking about house hunting in Lagos, all the crazy things that happen, who is to be blamed for the problem. Also, we're going to be giving you tips on how you can make the experience a little bit better for yourself. Today, I'm joined with two amazing guests to discuss this topic. On my right, I have Mr. Abdul Mumin. He has had over 6 years experience in real estate, helped hundreds of people get accommodation, also helped hundreds get investment property in Lagos. And he's here on my right. He's going to be joining us in this conversation. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr.
Yeah, good morning.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. So also on my left, I have Mr. Tonye. He's a growth strategist and he has had lots of experience hunting for houses in Lagos. He told me to introduce him as an angry Lagosian. So he's here to represent the views of most people. So we want to talk about this. You're welcome on show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to start with one of the difficult questions, an interesting one. What's your worst experience house hunting? I'll start with him. What's the worst experience you've had looking for a house in Lagos?
It took me 5 months to get an apartment, and I was actively searching.
5 months.
That's like the worst experience. In this time, within that time frame, I had gone through a lot of suffering in the hands of Lagos agents and landlords. And it was a very terrible experience.
What were the landlords doing to you?
Well, landlords had very below par properties, but with high rental value. The agents were looking to get a lot more commission than necessary. So it was overall a very terrible time. And months after even getting an apartment, I am still angry.
Yeah, you see, after 5 months, is it more than 5 months you got to the place?
No, just 2 months.
Let's wait. Maybe after 5 months you'll calm down. Since they stress you for that long.
Oh,
which one is harder in Lagos, to get love of your life or to find an apartment? It's looking like both of them are competing.
It's finding an apartment.
Finding an apartment, you guys, you've heard it. Finding an apartment is harder than finding love in Lagos. So, Mr. Abdul, what do you think has been your worst experience from the perspective of someone helping people get apartments? What has been your worst experience with getting an apartment?
Okay, so there's a whole lot to say, sir. Let's say from the angle of the landlords and from the angle of some of people we work with.
Yeah.
So they make the work difficult. At times you can hear him saying he was stressed for 5 months before getting where he can stay. So I guess it's a big issue that has to be looked into, not just from the angle of perspective of the agents. I feel the government too has their share in the blame, as well as the developers.
Yeah. Okay.
So my own my own was scenario is where we were looking for an apartment for a client for over 7 months.
7 months.
She couldn't get what she wanted, and we all have different perspective or different view on how your apartment should be or what your apartment should look like. So basically, that's.
So after 7 months, were you guys able to get to the place for her?
Yeah, she was able to settle down with.
I was expecting. Don't you think in your worst experiences have there been anyone where the problem has been the client?
Yeah, basically, yeah, sure. There's some clients that are quite funny. They call you up, hello, I want to get an apartment. They don't have a plan. They don't look at what the market is saying before they come. And basically, they compare what is obtainable in Lagos to what's obtainable in other states, Ibadan, and Oyo State and the likes. So I feel for the clients, some of them need to understand what is obtainable before
they come to look for a place.
Exactly, before they go out to say they want to start searching.
Yeah, so this is Lagos. So if you are coming from Ibadan, that is Ibadan. This is Lagos. This is what you can get here. So you have to have that realistic expectation before you start looking for house. I think I've experienced something like that with development where you have clients coming to Yaba and they are telling you this is how they do it in Banana Island. Like I've literally had someone tell me this is how they do it in Banana Island, and I'm like, the money I'm collecting for your hand is not up to your service charge in Banana Island.
Yeah, exactly.
And you are buying the property. Money you're using to buy property here is service charge there. And then you are asking we do the same. So have expectations based on Lagos before we start our house hunting. So another question I wanted to ask is, I want to ask you, why do you think people hate agents so much? Because it seems like everybody hates agents. Like when they hear agents, because of that, I think some people, when they are even doing agents, they don't call themselves agents anymore because there's so much hate for agents. Why do you think I hate agents?
I don't even call myself agent.
Exactly.
You call me, I say I'm a consultant.
Okay.
I'm a real estate consultant.
Yeah, real estate consultant.
Because when you say you're an agent, they basically feel you're just like people they've met before.
Yeah.
You are going to treat them the way they were treated earlier on with maybe their experience. So what's the question again?
Why do you think they hate agents? Why do they hate agents?
Yeah.
Why do people hate agents? So
I basically feel okay. So the for people, they have an expectation that with this money I should be able to get an apartment.
Sure.
And when they contact you, tell them no. Say why? So I won't say I should defend the agents because they have their own faults.
Yeah.
Too. Because how would someone call you? They need so. They give you a spec of what they need, and you go all out there and give them something else.
Exactly.
You definitely get angered. Why?
He was telling me earlier that they did exactly that to you.
Exactly. You can't tell someone to say you want to get a 2-bedroom, and the agent will tell you, "Oh, don't worry, I have a 3-bedroom for you." Do I need a 3-bedroom?
True.
So when they ask you something, get them what they want. Then probably recommend. Recommendation is different from when I ask you, this is what I want. Then you say, this is what is available. It's quite different. It's better for you to say it's not available.
It's not available, and this is what is available.
Exactly. There's a whole lot of reasons why they should hate agents.
You are saying they should.
Yes.
It's not even that they just say, they actually should hate agents.
I'm not saying they should hate agents.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm saying they have reasons.
The reasons are quality reasons.
Exactly.
Okay, that's good. Why do you think people hate agents?
Oh, there's no smoke without fire. First things first.
Okay.
Every hate, and even more hates they'll possibly get, is out of people's experiences, right?
Okay.
You hear a lot of funny stories about how agents, like away from the landlords now, away from the properties themselves, agents, people say, okay, they start businesses to, let's say, we help people get apartments, for example. Like if I look at Mr. Mumin's business page or something, they helping people get real estate apartment, and then just want to help yourself, basically, because the customer is not first most times for Lagos agents.
Yeah,
they just want to look out for the most money they can make, regardless of the situation, regardless of the individual, and that in itself, it's terrible.
So you're saying many times they are very selfish and they want just their money.
Their greed for more money overrides every other business ethic they can possibly gather to give clients the best possible experience in house hunting. So, and the apartments are already expensive.
Yeah. And
then you see outrageous commission charges, you see outrageous agency fees, and there's just a whole lot to actually point out.
True.
Sincerely.
So do you think the hate is well deserved?
More hates for them is well deserved. More, because housing is quite important. People need shelter, people need a roof over their heads, and even when you have the money, you go through a lot of pain because agents do the most, basically.
True. I think when you mentioned the part of commission, I feel like that's one part I can maybe defend agents. Do you know most times they don't get most of the commissions? Like if the commission is 100,000, especially in Yaba, Lagos mainland, I've experienced it. Even on the island too, when you rent, they don't get. Have you experienced that before?
Yeah, sure. You'd hear developer tell you they're also agents.
Yeah. So you split it with so many people at the end of the day.
It's not even splitting with so many people. Even the developer,
the owner of the house, will collect agency fee.
No, I
Does
think
that-
I
does
think
that
there's a
make
breakdown.
Yeah.
You see people say agency.
There is a
They'll
breakdown
see
to
commission.
That
Yes.
is,
Do you get?
to you guys.
So-
They tell you this is what you're paying. You're not meant to even go to the details of asking, okay, how would it be spilled? Like, how would the money be shared? Sure, you understand? So what I'm saying from the angle of what you don't see. So the developer will tell you, I'm not. What I'm saying is, with respect to the agency you just mentioned now, the commission you just mentioned now, they won't tell you what is going on in the background. That okay, I'm giving these people so amount. Your own is to pay this
The
so
money,
amount.
once
Yes,
you
and
pay,
that's
you
what I
go.
see. I see an apartment that, for example, costs, let's say 500,000 naira yearly. That's the actual rent. And then I now see agency and commission that is very close to that same amount.
Oh
It is
yeah,
outrageous.
but I had agency, commission, okay, service charge,
And
caution
ideally, it should
fee,
not
all
be
those
so.
things.
Ideally, it should not be so. I think I've had experiences or interactions with companies where it's a 10% charge on all these breakdowns.
Yeah.
Agency 10%, and I feel that is decent. If I'm going for an apartment of 500,000 naira and I'm paying 50k for agency, 50k for commission, I think that is decent.
That is decent. But most times it goes way above
it goes above 20 as far
that.
as
But do you think it's
40%.
do you think it's the agents that set the price?
No,
Okay.
I don't necessarily think it's the agent, but they are part of the system.
Oh, okay.
Right? They are actively part of that system that sets those prices.
Okay, makes sense. There's one question that just came to my mind. I think we need to ask. Let me ask you first. Do you think monthly rental in Lagos is going to help this whole thing? Like, because the Lagos State government signed the bill maybe 2 years, I'm not sure, but a while ago they signed the bill. They should do monthly rental things like. Do you think that would help the situation of house hunting, or do you think to make it worse? What do you think that would be an impact?
It's a two-way thing. It's going to work and it might not work.
Okay.
Yeah, so some people get their money wholly.
Okay.
And they prefer, okay, let me just have this money paid. And I'm for the rest of the year. I don't have to think about my rent.
Yeah.
So for some people, it works for them. When they get the money, know that, okay, this is where my rent is going to. They can run their Excel and all that and know that, okay, I'm paying maybe let's say 70k per month. And it depends on the work they do. So it works for some people, it might not work for some people.
But do you think it will help in making the entry cost lower, like that first payment? Because usually what disturbs people is that first payment. Do you think it will make it lower? Where if you're just paying for 1 month, maybe
It's going to reduce the burden.
Okay.
For for clients rather.
But the consistency might now
Exactly.
be a
That's where
problem.
the issue is, because people are quite funny, and people are not transparent. Okay, we have an agreement that you have to pay 70k or let's say 100k monthly. Then at the end of the day, probably after the third month, the person might have an issue.
Yeah.
And the issue can consume the person's earnings for that month. So basically, I feel it can work, and it has its perks and
issues too.
and cons.
Do you think that would be a lot easier for you if you are the one paying the monthly rental?
Yes, I feel like Lagos is well populated.
Yeah.
And whatever the market looks like, whatever structures are in the market, there are individuals who want those structures.
Okay.
So I feel like there's a target audience
For that.
already that exists that would want that kind of like housing structure.
Okay.
You get there are people that we can't incline towards the negative just because we want to talk about.
So
the
if you were talking
possibilities.
for yourself, do you think monthly rental will work very
monthly
well
rent-
for you?
Yes, very well.
To work
But
very
I'm a
well.
salary earner.
Okay.
You understand? So it saves me, like, I have the opportunity to maybe have a structure of my company to perhaps send a particular amount, just like we do for pension. And
Yeah, okay. You just send straight
just
from
send
company
straight
to
from
landlord.
company. So that makes it very structured.
Yes.
Except maybe I'm out of a job.
Yeah.
I possibly will not have an issue.
Well, that sounds good. So one of the major questions now we have left is, who do you think is to be blamed for the housing issues in Lagos, especially when it comes to house hunting and then the state of housing generally? The major corporates, government, developers, landowners, then is it the general populace or the agents / realtors? Who do you think has the most? Because I feel everybody here has some level of blame, but who do you think is the person that has the most blame among all this that can really do a lot to fix the problem?
Before I would say, I would choose a particular category from the ones you've given. I would say people as a whole, or people as a community in Nigeria, I don't know, we have this bad attitude towards doing things right.
Okay.
I won't say, let me just categorize that, say, okay, maybe the government. Let's start from the people. Before getting to, you're an individual.
Yeah.
Before any position or before you being a developer, how much do you care for people?
Okay.
They won't say they don't know about this whole thing happening. That there are some houses that they're not even meant to be built.
Okay.
There are some standards that people are actually not. I'm talking from the
Developer part, like they're not meeting up to standards for housing.
Exactly. They're making the work difficult for consultants, for agents. Because if you build a nice house, the agent don't need to do a lot
to sell. Yeah.
Because 1, 2, 3 people would see that and say, oh, this is nice. I've had experience where I didn't even need to go to the apartment before the person paid.
Just send them pictures.
Just send them pictures and videos. You saw the place and like, oh wow, is this how it is? I said yes. This is what I would need. I said yes. And they paid.
So from that developer part, do you think it's okay if the prices are higher but the houses are good? Do you think that's a better option than low price but the house is not that good?
Okay, so we have to look at it from the developer's angle too.
Yeah.
In as much as they are running a business, because they are not there to do charity.
Yeah, of course.
They are running a business.
Yeah.
So basically they should look at what would work for them. But I feel it has to be a thing that has to be balanced. Okay, developer gives you a price, you look at it and be like, okay, yes, this is worth it. But then some people are greedy.
True.
So the developers, the consultants, the agents, government. We need regulation, guy. You can't. There's a whole lot of abnormalities ongoing. A whole lot of abnormalities. That's why I'm trying to I'm not trying to defend the developers, because myself I've faced a lot of, even from fellow consultants. Okay, let's go to this particular place. They will tell you this place is available. Okay, no problem. Send me the picture to be a problem. They'll tell you maybe you can go. That's why I said people are still the problem. I'm not saying okay, maybe you are the government. People are still the problem. They'll say you not get back to them. You go slide them,
back,
and do all that.
And
so you can't get pictures. Why? Why can't you send pictures to your clients? Why should that be so difficult?
I understand.
You get, so the agents they have to do better. Government, they have to come in, and there was a regulation one time that said if you are not registered under Lagos State government, you won't practice real estate in
Lagos.
We are yet to see.
There's no enforcement on that yet. There's no enforcement on that yet.
Also, LAPSCA, other agencies, under the government, they have to. They say have a lot. We have a lot to do, because there are some houses that when you see the market, at the end of the day, you come back, you see that they've continued building. They might not have any issue as per the structure, but then probably maybe LAPSCA people, they say like, okay, this apartment has been there for quite a while, they've not completed, and it's a way for us to what? Make money. They go there. So I've seen scenarios like that. Developers are facing a lot too. You can't spend 50 million, 80 million, 100 million to build an apartment. Then you see one person, maybe probably in between the time when you are still constructing, they just come and tell you, so is not there. I just heard that they added Loma to
Loma. Everybody now, Loma has enforcement now. Everybody.
It's good that they are enforcing some laws, but then are they doing it rightly? They just come out of the blue, and I've been on sites before. They just come, hey, you break a particular part of the apartment. Why? They'll tell you maybe they've not paid so amount, and developers will bring out receipts to tell you that they've paid for this. They've paid for this thing, and yet they still have to pay again. So how do you expect the developer not to push this thing down to the consumer?
Yeah, so it's like from the top, everybody's going
Top
through
to
a
bottom.
lot, down to consumers
bottom.
now feeling like, oh my god.
So that's
what's going
why
on?
you can see Toye now that would say, I'm an angry resident of Lagos State.
Then I'm sure a lot of people watching are angry about this particular situation.
now.
They are very, very angry because
Yes, now.
it's a painful thing to experience.
Don't let me say my experience with developers and landlords.
So yeah, what do you think? Who do you think has the most blame? Who do you think could fix it most? Like if this group of people fix their game, there'll be a lot of change.
The government.
The
I feel
government,
like
okay.
it all has to start from the top. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I like the points he made about everyone first being individuals, right? But from the government angle, there are regulations actually.
Yeah.
But then enforcing those laws, enforcing those regulations is another story entirely. So if, like for example, you can see 2 apartments on the same street,
Yeah.
and because the owner just feels that he or she can rent it for a particular amount, you can say 2.5 million naira, 3-bedroom apartment, and the next building, which the structures are even not so different, is way lesser than that, right? That is what happens in an unregulated market, right? So government has to actually set certain standards and mechanisms to ensure that people don't go overboard. That's
Okay.
the first thing, and actually enforce those rules. Then the agencies of governments that are under housing need to do better, basically. I think
Okay.
it's like a money recouping scheme for them, or I don't really understand, but they have to do better in enforcing laws where necessary. He made a point about houses that are marked and then come back. Sometimes houses are marked for being maybe a weak structure for,
Yeah.
do you understand? And then the landlord just paints it, and then 2 weeks later,
I saw it happen in
And, yeah.
Meta one time.
And then you just
they repainted and they were good.
repainted, settle a couple of people, and
Yeah.
then he rents those apartments out, and then it's not even safe
Yeah.
for people that live in it. So on the end of the developers, I think some regulations too also has to be in that industry, and regulations in the sense that they don't have to pay so much,
Okay.
because the ripple effect from the government end goes down
To the consumer.
Yeah.
That's what I actually think.
So when they pay so much, everybody will
Yeah,
pay the
they
price
want to make sure
eventually.
that they are able to effect that same consideration into their pricing strategies.
True.
Just so they can recoup.
Yeah.
And then we have inflation really hitting hard, and
Inflation,
you can start
yeah.
a project, pay for a developer, for example, set a certain price, and 3 months you can already see the losses you make because the market has
Gone up.
like everything has gone up. Then down to realtors, everybody just has to do better.
Yeah.
But I feel like it does start from the government.
It's even
So
good that
from
you're not saying
government-
agents. He said realtors.
The word
I hate
keep
the
changing.
name.
There is agents, consultant,
The name
realtors.
gives-
The
that
name
name
keep
gives me-
changing.
gives
But
me
agents is the
PTSD.
one people hate the most.
Agents.
That word.
Ah.
It triggers.
Don't
it
even-
triggers anger in
Don't-
people.
don't even
so
try it.
people just use different words. So for what he says, government can work on it. Then developers. Then it comes down. Then inflation too has a big role to play in pricing, especially over the past 2-3 years. That's been crazy. So inflation, even egg that was 13 naira now is 100. I was talking to someone about it. The egg increase in value. And all of a sudden, the egg is 100 naira.
And they'll
now.
tell you that the pump price is affecting.
It has to.
Pump price,
Because
dollar.
if,
Pump price affecting.
if
dollar,
I'm
yes.
renting my house
Yes.
350, let's say I've finished building and I'm renting 350, and that 350 is my children's school fees. And then 3 years later, that 350 is my children's books, no longer school fees
People
because I can't afford. I have to increase my rent so that I can be able to keep up with
the-
what is going on around.
Why you
So-
just say it just makes you feel like there is no solution to the problem. Like,
Inflation can be solved. Inflation can be solved. So if inflation is solved, at least one topic is gone. We can have say regulation.
but then even when inflation is solved, can you even
Conscience.
trust
Nigerians should not have
to do
conscience.
the-
Sin, that-
Conscience.
that's why I
Like,
said-
still
that's why I
going back
said-
to the individual.
that individual-
Yeah,
for anything.
if everybody can have conscience
See,
down the line,
we
everybody
don't have- we
move
don't-
with conscience.
No one. It's quite difficult to see someone that is upright. I mean, okay, don't worry. Meet me by 10 o'clock, and the person will be there by 10.
Yeah.
It's very, very bad. People will tell you. One of the reasons why clients get mad at agents, you tell them. Oh, sorry. You tell agents, Alpha, please let's get there by. The agent will be the one that gives time. Oh. Don't worry. Meet me by 10. You call the agent by 9:30, or let's say 15 minutes to 10. This agent will tell you, oh, no worry. You are still in track. No problem. When you get there, they tell you, I'm sorry, I'm stuck in traffic, and traffic is quite easy for you to use.
Everybody uses
That's
that.
the next thing for you to say. I'm in traffic, blah, blah, blah. It's fine. Just tell the person I can't be available. Let's do 12 o'clock or 12:30. Even as at that point, maybe you see that, okay, maybe by 9:30, before you get to that place, you need to take time. Call the person. I'm going to be there.
Yeah, I'm going to be late.
Exactly. 30 minutes late.
I think I have a personal experience in that light.
It's fine.
Yeah.
That is what I consider one of the most outrageous things I had to experience when I was house hunting. So, the particular agent that I was talking to, he was already around, but he said 2 of his guys are coming. So I checked the apartment or something I liked. The only barrier then became, he started telling me that, oh, there are a lot of agents on the property. And so I have to sort them individually
again.
Like already, the agency fee was already outrageous.
Yeah.
So imagine have to now cut out, let's say 50,000 naira to sort the
everybody again.
How do those structures come into place? And why does it have to be the house hunter in that sense? Having to go through those kind of problems.
However, I still have an issue with clients too. They're very funny. They think they're smart.
Wow. How would you do front?
They think they're smart. Why would you tell me that, okay, hello, I need an apartment, blah, blah, blah. I go all the way out. Yeah, there are so many hazards to each occupation or any job. But I go all the way out. I make calls, go to the house. I try to make sure that, okay, this person should get this apartment. I call the landlord, we are coming by 2 or we're coming by 10. And later, the client will now tell me, I will even tell you where the apartment is. The client will now tell me, I'm sorry, I checked the apartment around 9 o'clock. I didn't know that it was this apartment you were talking about. But I showed you this apartment. I said, this thing happened to me yesterday.
I sent you a picture earlier. You saw his pictures. How do you know that's the apartment?
You see what she said? She said, perfect. This is nice. It's pay and
she went behind your back. That's what she did.
And you know, I will not say, it boils down to people are not transparent. People are not truthful.
Conscious.
You get, this person actually, I didn't even.
No, I feel like.
I made sure. Would you say pressure?
Not even. I feel like those
angle.
kind of. I won't support anyone that is shady like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like certain things that happen, or a lot of things that happen within the interaction between agents and those looking for houses, they are mostly reactions based on experience.
Okay.
Like for example, this particular property I was referencing earlier, the caretaker in charge, who is like a brother to the actual landlord, then cautioned the guy why he needed to mention for people that what he's concerned about and what he's concerned about me paying is the agreed agency fee.
Agency fee, okay,
you get?
yeah.
So people know that if you can possibly get to the source,
okay, you'll be able to cut that agency settling people.
It's not like you won't pay the agency fee,
but that one that will extra settling.
Issues where agents just want to be smart. It doesn't make it valid.
So here's the thing. I make sure I don't work with a lot of agents not to bring this particular issue. That one person now say, I have had issues where after the whole thing, after the person paid, I got 2K.
Been there. I pay 1.3 million. My money was 3K.
Just imagine.
1.1 million.
I didn't bother.
3K.
Why? My own satisfaction is, are you okay? Is this kind of apartment you want? I asked the client, this is what you want.
See, you just, it's your L, you take your
no
L.
problem because, no wahala. I believe building relationships with clients is even better because how do you get referrals?
Actually.
I hardly say, come and take apartment to, come and do apartment to. I hardly do advertisement. Why? People will refer people to me. In a week, I talk to, I don't know how many safe that I even lost. There are times that I will even forget that I've spoken with this person, that this person needs so. Because why? I have a lot of people that I talk to weekly. So it's quite crazy when you as an agent, you feel like on a particular transaction or on a particular deal, you have to make the whole money.
You have to make all your money.
You can't.
I think another thing that agents do is collect a base fee for inspection.
That inspection fee.
Now, he mentioned the point earlier about the person searching for the apartment, maybe looking for a 2-bedroom, and I pay you 5K as the inspection
What
fee,
they call it?
for example.
Consultancy fee, yeah.
Now,
Consultancy fee.
you take me to an apartment.
No.
Like,
Agents, wait, hold up. Agents they call it inspection fee.
Inspection fee,
While
yeah.
consultants call it consultancy fee.
They
They're
are
two different
still the
thing,
same
please.
It's the same
That's
one.
different thing, please.
they collect a particular amount,
Yeah.
which is agreed before you even meet them, and then they take you purposely to an apartment
You will not
that
like
is out of the specifications
No,
you have provided.
Just to collect- just collect that
Don't
5K.
say day.
No,
Don't say day.
no,
Put
it's
it-
contextual.
No.
It is contextual.
Put it.
You're
in
even
a-
cutting me. This is what agents do.
No.
No, it's not like that.
No.
Wait. Were you faced with such experience with like 3 or 4 people?
No. If I'm faced
It's
with
just
one,
a-
it's an
just a-
experience, and it is
yes,
valid
don't-
for me to say.
Don't.
Because it's not just one agent in this Lagos that does it.
Okay.
Right? A lot of agents.
Yeah.
So they would collect that particular amount,
Yeah.
take you to an apartment they know, at least they are not entirely certain you will like. And then they now say, oh, there's another one. I was looking for an apartment in Bagada. This guy was showing me apartments in Surulere. Far from where, and I had paid the agency the consultancy fee,
Inspection
or the
fee.
inspection
And
fee.
you just go for
And
inspection
then
for
at
inspection.
the end of the day, then I lose trust.
Yeah.
So I have to look for the next agent.
And
who will
you've
collect
paid your
another
5K.
money. Do you get?
So
I can't begin to calculate in my 4
Not-
months
not-
plus of
hold up.
home
How many
on-
Hold on, they also
How
many
hold
5Ks
on,
I had
remember
to
they
pay?
remember they also have a running cost too. However, I'm not defending them that okay, why are they charging 5K or 10K? I've had experience where after the whole thing, the client had to call me back. Abdul, thank you very much, blah 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 blah. Send me an account number. Sent me money. I didn't ask him. I only wanted him to get an apartment where he'll be. I would ask you definitely, are you okay? Is it a place that you like? Then maybe after maybe a month, I'll come to you again. Alpha, I hope you are not facing any issue there. If you are facing issue, we'll go to the landlord. We'll talk to the landlord, Alpha, or the developer. My client is facing this social issue. How can it be resolved? Is it something that, okay, maybe you guys will have to do together or something? There are times that I tell my clients, guy, after getting this apartment, before getting this apartment, look at things that the landlord has to do before you move in.
Yeah.
Even this is an issue again entirely. You have to look at it. Is it possible for you to fix it yourself or the landlord? Make sure the landlord fix it too. Don't go and be saying, don't worry, okay, it's fine. Maybe as at the point you checked the house, you liked it because it fits in you're like, oh, okay, maybe now I have plumbing issue. You can't tell the alpha, is this one working? So at times while checking an apartment, you have to check everything. I mean, check
Sometimes
water.
a product of frustration. When you search too much,
water.
you want to take.
Just want to be done.
You just want
I know,
to be
right?
done.
I know, right?
The apartment I got, for example, had a lot of things to fix. And then when I asked the particular agent, she was like, "This is how the landlord is."
Yes, okay.
So
That's how
I
it should
mean,
be because
I
you know
mean,
that this is what you are
so
going to do
I
when you
understood.
move in.
When I
Yeah.
factored that I could contain the cost to take me, and then I was
You
fine.
have to pay for it.
So the way it's looking now, if you are looking for an apartment and you need someone that will care about you, please, you contact him. I'll drop link to contact him because they say if he care about you, his own satisfaction is that you get what you are looking for. So we're rounding up. One last thing. Do you have any tips? Do you have any tips? Oh yes, he does.
If you're looking for a way to navigate wicked Lagos agents, there will be a link to my
So
I'll
he will
teach
give
you
you ways to go through there.
on how to make sure you don't get
So,
caught in their web.
Do you have tips, like 1 or 2 or 3 tips that you think, okay, if someone does this, it will make the whole thing better for them?
I think, funny enough, if I was looking for an apartment after now, I'll look for company structures than individual structures. I mean,
Okay.
there are real estate companies that
Okay.
rent apartments. For
Yeah.
example, the apartment I later got was through
A company.
a proper company, and
Okay.
then 10% agreement, 10% commission.
So everything is
nothing
way more
outrageous,
organized
nothing
that way.
outrageous. Yes, it's way more organized for me as opposed to individuals that
Yeah.
want to. Yeah, so that's one thing, and then be certain of what you want and know what the market is saying. Basically,
Okay.
be certain of the kind of apartment you're looking for.
And be clear on the
people have
price
outrageous
on markets.
expectations
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah, so be clear on what the market is saying and what your budget is, and communicate that early to whoever you are trying to.
Exactly.
So
please,
go
please
through
communicate,
agents.
because there are times that
Yeah.
you need to tell the client. You need to tell the agent or the consultant, this is what you want, and the consultant will recommend to you. Most likely for people that are first time
Home
yeah, exactly, home rentals. So please, if you are renting an apartment, just talk to the person, tell the person this is kind of thing you're looking at, what is obtainable at that particular place. Also too, look at where you work, look at how your route is like. Make sure, okay, you are staying in Surulere, you know that you have to shop for things at Yaba. Yaba is still close to Surulere, or you have to be at Yaba every day. You can stay at Surulere or stay a place further where apartment is not
As
outrageous,
expensive,
it's not as
yeah.
expensive as, and also know how you move around. Lagos is quite crazy. They won't tell you until you start hunting for apartments. One, plan ahead. Talk to any agent around, or better still, go around and check what is obtainable in the market. Secondly is plan yourself ahead. Know what you want to get. Is it a soft-con? Is it a mini flat? Is it a 2-bed or a 3-bed? Don't just say, you want a 2-bed. Yes, I'm coming with 500K.
Sometimes that's not obtainable. So be clear on what market is saying and what you are looking for.
You're not like to, except maybe you want to go to Ikorodu. That's
If
fair
you need
enough.
500K, Ikorodu,
Yeah, go to
you
Ikorodu.
see.
Very nice. You see very nice apartments.
Spacious.
Very nice apartments in Ikorodu.
Yeah.
Maybe Odongunyo or Benson or thereabouts. You see fine places. So my own is, make sure you talk to. See, don't lie to me. Don't lie to me if I'm your own agent. Don't lie to me. If you lie to me, you are doing big boy. You're forming big boy. I'm coming.
Don't form big boy, yo.
Don't form big boy. Just
This is
tell the person
street.
what is,
You
exactly.
do it well.
Tell the person what is obtainable, what you can afford. Nobody go hold you. Tell them what you can afford, and it's not something you can afford. Just sit back, stay in your father's home or your mother's home.
pure advice. You
No
could
one
save a
is-
lot of
no
money
one-
there.
Exactly. You just go home, you eat, they will care for you now. My son is going to work from home. They would like to see their son working from home. They would like to see that's my son. Yes, he's a chartered accountant.
He's working
Yes,
from
an IT
home
expert.
because he cannot afford a house.
That's the norm.
No. I'm just saying, like, they'll be proud of you now. They'll see that you're
They'll be
working.
proud
You
of
get, you get. So nobody they push you for us. So just chill.
So guys, we are come to the end of this show. So you must have learned a lot. All the tips we've dropped, follow them. So if you're looking for an apartment, you can contact him. You can comment if you have any question, if you have any real estate topic you think we should talk about. You can comment your thoughts on the comment below. Subscribe, like, and share with your friends. So if you have a friend that is looking for an apartment and you want him to have a clear sense of what he's looking for, you share this video with them so you can help them with their journey. Thank you very much, and I'm Bright with Real Estate Talk Flinch Realty. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.